Hey guys, Dave here. Welcome to the Centurions Review, the punk rock band of Wargame Review Institutions. This is episode number 9 of the Solitaire D&D 5th edition campaign, the Chronicles of Davus. In our last episode, the party traveled to this ruined temple in order for the Couatl to get permission from the Deva to guard the Celestial Library. A Deva is a lesser angel that runs a county on the world of Farain. After waiting around for about 15 minutes, Deva materializes. Everyone gathers around to speak to her. The Couatl starts speaking to the angel. They're speaking in Celestial, but Davus can understand it because he speaks Celestial. Everyone else hasn't a clue what they're saying. But essentially what's going on is he's asking the Deva for permission to guard the Celestial Library. He explains that the previous Couatl who is guarding it has passed away, so he's been nominated for it, but he needs her permission. So she thanks him for asking for the permission. She says, well, you didn't really need my permission, but I know you did it out of politeness, so I'd like to thank you for that. And then she turns to the party and starts addressing them all by name. She says, greetings, Davus, Jorg Lang, Rudolph Brown, and Maggie. Thank you for escorting the Couatl here. And Rudolph Brown is a little bit rude. So he says to her, he's like, how do you know our names? She's like, well, I'm an angel. She's like, I know quite a bit. And I've been hearing about your exploits for some time now. I may have a job for you guys after you bring the Couatl to the Celestial Library, so come back if you want a job. There's an agent from another plane who's in a dungeon here, and he's sending out spies to collect information about this world, and they bring the information to him, and he transmits it to his superiors in another plane, so I'd like you to get rid of him. So Rudolph Brown, as I said, he's rude, so he says, why don't you do it? He's like, you're an angel. I mean, you're practically a god. Why can't you do it? And the angel says, that's a good question. The reason I can't do it is, first of all, I can do it, but I'm not going to. In the mortal realm, angels are supposed to interfere as little as possible. They only interfere if it's something that a mortal could never accomplish. She says, you guys can accomplish this task, so I'm going to have you do it. So Davus thanks her, and he says, yeah, we'll definitely be back after we bring the Couatl to the Celestial Library, and then she flies away. The group starts traveling again. The Couatl says this is the correct road to take, so they've been going for about an hour now. Nothing has happened, so they continue on. They continue on and enter into a forest. The trail stops here. So Davus asks the Couatl, he's like, well, the trail stopped. Are you sure we're going the right way? And the Couatl says, yes, the trail will continue, or we can pick it up again after we exit the woods. So they continue on. They're moving for some time after getting out of the forest, and they get near a hill and a tree line. The tree line, the ground's really wet, and they start hearing a noise coming from the trees. So they roll a party perception check to see if they can figure out what's going on. They get a 2. They completely fail. They have no clue. So here's what's going on. There's some frog-looking dudes there. They're like kind of like humanoid frogs coming from there. And there's some coming from the hill. And there's 2 coming from over here. These ones look really humanoid, these 2 here. The one with the bow and stuff. They're going to roll a stealth check to see if they can get surprised. They roll and they do get surprised, so the frogs are going to go first. So the first bullywog moves in and attacks Davus. So he's got a +3 to hit. He misses. That was with his spear, and now 1 with his bite. His bite misses too. This other one here moves in to hit Davus. Does his first attack with the spear, which hits. And it does 1d6 plus 1 damage, so it does 2 damage to Davus. So he's down to 26 hit points. Alright, we got 2 coming off the hill here. So he attacks RB. That's a hit. That was with the spear. And it does 3 damage to RB. And then he does his bite attack. His bite attack hits 2. And that does another 3, so 6 damage to RB. So he's down to 23 hit points. And this one here is going to fire his bow. And he's going to fire it at RB. That's a hit. And does 3 damage to RB. This one here, she will fire her bow at him. And gets a critical. So that does 10 damage. So he's taking a total of 13 damage there. So RB's down to 10 hit points. So now the actual initiative will start since the surprise round is over. Alright, so this one will go first. She's going to fire at RB again. And misses. And the next one is this guy here. He attacks RB. Miss. Yeah, but he hits with his bite. So his bite does 3 damage to RB. Now the archer will go. This guy right here. He attacks RB and misses. Now JL is up. And JL moves in here and is going to attack with his shovel. And that's a hit. That one's got a shield, but it still hits. And it does a total of 7 damage. Now Couatl is up. She flies over here and attacks that one. And gets a hit. And does D6 plus 5 damage, so does 8 damage to that one. And it has to take a DC 13 Constitution check in order to not be knocked out. Fails the check, so she is knocked out. Now Maggie is up. She's right here, and she's going to attack this frog here and get advantage on it. And misses, unfortunately. Alright, this guy here goes, and he's going to attack Davus. Miss, and second attack both missed. And then this guy here will go. Miss. And miss. Davus got lucky. Alright, now Davus is up, and he's going to attack that one there. So he gets a hit, or does that one have a shield? No, that one has a shield, so that bounced. So he's going to do a second wind, or not, excuse me, not a second wind, an action surge to get another action, and he attacks again, and misses again. Wow. Now RB is up. He moves over here to get advantage on this one. Oh, hold on a second. He had advantage there, so he gets to roll twice. So that all will count as his first attack, and then his bonus attack will go again. So that's a hit and not a crit. So that will do 1d10 plus 3 damage. So it does 11 damage to this one, and this one dies. Alright, now RB's turn. Yeah, he moves over here to get advantage, and he's going to attack with his pitchfork. He's got a plus 4 to hit. And that becomes 11 becomes a 15, but he's got a shield, so it bounces. But he's still got a kick. And the kick misses. So we're back to the top. It's this woman's turn, but she's knocked out, so she can't go. We forgot to do baboon number 1. He comes down and attacks RB. He gets a critical. So Rudolph Brown is knocked out. Or he's down to 0 hit points, whatever you want to call it. Alright, number 2 here, he's going to attack JL. Miss. Miss. Alright, Archer's up. He's going to fire at the Couatl. Gets a hit. And does 6 damage to the Couatl. Now JL is up, and he's going to attack that one. Not good enough, because that guy's a 17 because of his shield. Oh, sorry, I screwed up there. No, the armor class includes the shield, so actually that is a hit. And he does 7 damage to number 2. So this guy is out, knocked out. Now it's Couatl's up, and he's going to attack this one right here. Gets a crit. So he does 11 damage and kills this one outright. Now Maggie is up. Maggie moves here to get behind this frog and attacks. And gets a hit. And does 4 damage to him. And he's got to succeed on a DC 11 strength check or be knocked prone. He gets knocked prone. Alright, he's up. So he uses his whole movement to stand up. And then he attacks Davus. Miss. Both missed. Now Davus is up. And Davus attacks him. Gets a hit. And does 6 damage to him. Now frog number 1 is up. So he's going to move over here and attack JL. And miss. And miss. JL got lucky. RB, he's got to do a death save. He fails his first death save. 2 more and he's dead for good. Alright, so now JL is up. And he misses, unfortunately. Now Couatl is up. Couatl flies over here. And is going to bite him with advantage. Yeah, he bites. So that's 5 damage. And then he's got to succeed on a DC 13 Constitution check. And he does not, so he is knocked out. Now Maggie is up. And she will attack this guy right here. With advantage. That was cocked. Critical. 11 damage, so that one's dead. So they decide that since these aren't human, they're going to kill the knocked out one. Well, first Couatl's going to use a healing potion on RB to bring him back with us. So he's got 5 hit points. So like I said, they're going to kill the ones that are knocked out, and they're going to search the bodies and see what they can find. So they kill them and search the bodies, and they find 300 gold worth of gold and jewels. And the party gets a total of 300 XP. So the party gets together and decides they're going to start marching again, so they get in marching order. And start their travels. They arrive at the Celestial Library, and lo and behold, Vendithus is there. And Vendithus thanks them for escorting the Couatl here and hands them their 1,000 gold. And they also get 500 XP for completing that quest. RB asked him, well, if you were going here anyways, why didn't you just bring the Couatl yourself? He said, well, the Couatl needed an armed escort. He's like, I'm not really a fighter, so that's why I hired you guys to do it. So Vendithus goes inside the library. And the Couatl thanks them profusely for bringing him there. And he says, can you hold on a minute? He's like, I'm going to go inside and get something for Maggie. So he goes inside and comes out about 5 minutes later and walks up to Maggie and puts a collar around her. And Davus asks, he's like, what is that collar? And he said it's a celestial dog collar. In metagaming terms, it increases her armor class to 17, and she does an extra d6 damage when she hits. So it's a good thing to have. They say their goodbyes and then start moving along, and the Couatl goes inside his library, which we will guard for his entire life. They make their way into the forest, and they notice that there's some boar there. They haven't eaten in like nearly a day and haven't touched their ration, so they're going to try and get a boar. So JL volunteers, so he moves up and fires his bow at a boar. And he gets a crit. So the boar is dead. The other boars run away. They're over here. And they go in to start cutting up the meat. A few minutes later, they hear something running towards them. A really big, it looks like a cross between a human and a boar comes, and he's got a really big weapon, so he's going to roll to see if he gets a surprise round. No, he does not, so we're going to roll initiative. So Maggie's going to go first. She turns here and attacks the boar. She gets a total of 22. So she's going to do 2d6 plus 2 damage. So she's done 12 damage to him so far. Now JL is up. He runs over here and he's going to attack with his shovel. And misses. RB comes over here and is going to attack with his pitchfork. Gets a hit. So that does d8 plus 2 damage. So it does a total of 6 damage. And then he's going to kick him. Kick misses. Alright, Davus is up now. Moves in here and gets advantage. So he gets a hit. Let's see if there's a crit. No, critical. And does 9 damage to him. Now the boar himself goes. He's attacking JL. Not good enough with his first attack. His second attack, not good enough either. So Maggie's up again. She's got advantage. Gets a critical. 4. Does 11 damage to him. And then JL's up. He's going to attack with his pitchfork, his shovel. Gets a hit. And does 5 damage to him. He looks like he's on his last legs. I know he's wanted to protect his family of boar, but it's going to cost him his life. Now RB is up with his pitchfork. Misses. Now Davus is up. He gets a hit. That killed him. So he's gone, but they search his body and they just find a small amount of gold, like 50 gold, and they get 100 XP for this. They're going to move on and continue to the ruined temple. They get to the ruined temple and the Deva isn't here yet, so they set up a camp and stay overnight. Nothing happens during the night, so it's the morning, and they hear some wings flapping, and the Deva lands. Deva asks them how everything went escorting the Couatl, and they said everything went well. Vendithus was there to pay us. She says, okay, so I told you I had a job for you. The agent who's hiring spies to spy on this land is a lesser beholder. It's called a spectator. It's not as bad as it sounds. It's not nearly as powerful as a regular beholder, but you're going to have to be very careful. I'll give you a map which shows you how to get there. So she hands it to Davus. And Davus starts asking her something, and she says, no, you know enough to complete the job. And she walks over to him and whispers something in his ear and flies away. RB turns to Davus and says, what'd she say to you? He's like, well, she spoke to me in Celestial, and she said you were being followed. Here ends this episode. Next episode, they'll go out and look for the spectator.